CSR2 is an 8-year-old game, and despite this, the player base has been growing steadily even up to today. And with a growing player base, undoubtedly, new players are coming in and getting flustered that they can't win in live racing. But I'm looking to change that with this guide. My name is Tsui Kyit, and I hope that this guide has helped someone in any shape or form. And without any further ado, let's get started. The first thing you need to understand is that CSR2 is not really realistic. Toyota Supras can hit 400 miles an hour. Audi sedans can hit 300 miles an hour. That's out of the ordinary if you look at real life. So just because a car is of a certain make or model, that shouldn't really be the deciding factor in what makes a good car. I'm going to demonstrate with my Aston Martin DB12 Volante. As you can see, it has 646 PP and 2200 Evo up at the top of the screen. What do these numbers mean? Well, let me explain. PP, the 646, it comes from upgrades. So when you put tires, engine, nitrous on the car, this is what affects your PP. But Evo, as you can see, is 2200. That's driven by tuning your car, changing the tire pressure, the final drive, or putting fusion parts when you upgrade your parts for your PP. And the trick here is to get a high enough ratio of PP to Evo that you get an advantage in live racing called lobby advantage. Because your PP and Evo, from my experience, seem to form a weighted value, and this weighted value seems to affect your matchmaking, so you get placed into a lobby where your opponents are going slower than you, so it's easier to win. Now, let me explain. From my experience, PP has a 1-to-1 ratio, like your weighting to your performance. So your performance goes up, but so does your ELO, if you get what I mean. But PP, if you get enough, because one PP only changes a very small part of your performance, but you have at least 30, is my sweet spot. 30 Evo is equivalent to 1 PP, but it doesn't increase your weighting as much. So this is why getting a car with lower PP but high Evo is the trick to winning in CSR2. Think of lobbies as a lunchbox, because lobbies are broken up into different brackets. There's 10.2, 10.5, 10.7, the lot. So if you look at the lunchbox and you put an apple inside, that's it, an apple, you can't recompress it. But if you put sponge cakes inside, you can squish them and you can fit more as a result. So if you can fit more and you can get more food in the same amount of space, of course you want more. And this is the concept of the Evo. You have to get as much as you want, not as much as you want, as much as possible if you're going to min-max the performance of your car. And which brings me to the second thing. Not every single car is capable of getting such a crazy ratio. To illustrate that point, I'm going to show you my Technica. The current Prestige car. Give me a second. The search bar doesn't want to cooperate with me today. Alright, never mind. Somewhere around here. Come on, where are you? Where's that car? Here it is. Right. As you can see, it's one more PP than my DB12, but only 941 Evo. That's really not good, and it's not going to do you well. And here's how you can determine if a car is going to be good in live racing. Set every single part of the car to stage 3. Put as many fusions as you can, and tweak with the tuning. I have put most fusion parts on, but I'm missing some epics. But that's besides the point. It's not going to change too much, as it's still 941 no matter what I do. As you can see, I can play with the slider all I want. It's not going to make the car any faster. It just won't. As a result, I've just brushed off this car. I'm not going to be using it in live racing. I'm just going to use it in the Prestige Cup, and it's just going to sit in my garage forever. and ever, unless it's some event that uses it. And going back to my DB12 Volante, let me show you the difference. It's here. Here it is. Alright. It's not running off stage 3 as I have a setup for it right now. But let's say I would put everything in stage 3. Like so. Notice that despite the 647 PP, just like the Technica we looked at, the Evo is a crazy 1953. And that's what makes the car so good. And if you tune the car, it just keeps going higher. So obviously, this is what you want in live racing. So if I were to set my car back to the tune I had before I changed it, I'm gonna show you why having more what's the word? More Evo than PP is beneficial. Let's change the final drive back. Somewhere around here. Alright, here. Firstly, let's look at the car that has this, it shares the same lobby. So you take this Nissan or my DB12, they'll end up in the same lobby. So let's get right into it. It's live racing and race a few people. Or I'm not going to challenge this MC20, but this guy gave me a great benchmark. This Agera R. It's not a good car, but it'll get the job done. So this is how you drive that thing. I haven't driven this car in forever. If the wind picks up, part of me, it's a really windy day here in Singapore. Look, running all out, this is the best my car can do. About 10.5. And as you can see, he ran 10.7 because that car's not very good. But the important part is I ran at 10.5, and that's not really good for this lobby. Well, I can make it, but it's just not that good. Well, there's no one else to race right now, unfortunately. But let me run back to my car, the DB12. As you can see, it ends up in the exact same lobby as before. These are the same guys I just saw. Alright, this guy wants to challenge me, so let's race him. And this car, it can run way faster than the other one. Like the other one ran 10.5? Let me see how this guy runs. At 10.3, I think my shifting wasn't good, but as you can see, you can run faster in a car like this versus just now when I had my Nissan, and that's running all out. This car has more potential, and this is why we say getting a car with higher Evo is better than having a car with more PP and less Evo, as I said my lunchbox and analogy just now. Because let's say a lunchbox, you're trying to squeeze as much food as you can into it so you can bring it to school or work, and you can get more during your lunch and you'll be more full. This is the case with live racing. Given this lobby, you want to max out every little bit of performance you can. So this is how you do it. Putting more Evo than you can PP. And this is the general idea behind live racing. It's not all, because other things like dyno beating come into play. But I'm not going to cover that as that's quite complicated. But as you can see, I can run this car again. It's just going to dominate because he's a low rank and I doubt he's tuned his car too well. You'll see though. Third, fourth, fifth, sixth, and shift to 7. You can see it's quite a big gap because he's not tuned properly, but my car is. I've min-maxed everything possibly. As you can see, 10.2, he ran 10.7, nearly 10.8. So as I said, this is how you generally do well. Oh, another contender. I'll be right back, because I mean, to drive the point really back home, let's go back to my Nissan again. Right, here it is. You see, the PP is much higher, but the Evo, it's way lower, about 700 lower. And here I am again, in the same lobby. Oh, my car isn't updated. Right, let's just, oops, he doesn't want to connect. The reason I don't challenge swappers is I'm not a swapper myself. I race to win, so if they want to like race me, I'm down, but I just don't swap myself. So I just don't want to give them the impression like, hey, I want to swap. And again, swapping is another thing I will talk soon, but not right now, because again, that's out of the scope of this video. The scope of this video is just trying to illustrate the point that getting a car with higher Evo, way higher Evo than your PP, is what's going to be the first step to getting a good life racer. And lastly, there's always a question of, how do I get these cars? Well, it's not as easy as you think it is. Right, let me go back to my DB12, because if we look at the so-called dealership, well, it's more of a showroom, because you can't really buy cars. And the cars you can buy, like let's say the Lamborghini Huracan, that's a terrible car unless you tune it to a beat dyno. Again, I'm not going to talk about it. And a lot of the other cars you can buy, if a car credits the new currency that just came to the game. And these cars, a lot of them, new players are not going to be able to get them. But cars like this or this, unless you tune them specifically, and that's with required parts, you're not going to succeed. So what I recommend is using the free Toyota Supra that they give you when you unlock elite tuners. And I'll show you mine. Alright, here it is. Now, I don't really like the Supra, I'm being honest. But for new players, it's all they've got. Yeah, because you get this car for free. And if we were to look at my car and adjust everything to stage 3, this car can actually do quite well. It's just, it doesn't lobby very well when you do take it into live, and that's why I personally don't like it. You can see 648, 1955 Evo. That looks pretty good on paper, but in practice, it just doesn't do very well, and that's why I don't really use mine, to be honest. But for new players, it's better than nothing. Now, you won't see this anywhere, but my personal favorite way to get a good life racer is the Prestige Cup. Now, what is the Prestige Cup? Well, this is a seasonal event that happens once every 2 weeks. For every season, there is a new one. And in every one of these, there is a featured car. Like for now, as you can see here, it's that Lamborghini Huracan Technica that I showed you just now. And this is not a good car, so don't go out of your way to either buy silver keys or use your silver keys or anything just to get this car. It's just not good. You can wait for season after season and see if they're good or not by just word of mouth. Like for example, a good Prestige Cup car is the DB12. This one, it was a recent Prestige Cup car. In fact, all of these cars are. The M5 CS was one, the RS7 Sportback, the ABT RS6R, the Emira, this one, the Cadillac, the BMW and the Dodge, even the Corvette, the convertible. All 6 cars here. None here. The Challenger M600 and F-Type, they're okay, I guess, but this is not too good. They're okay. The Jeep and the TVR here are Prestige Cup cars from the past. This NSX, but this is quite situational, slow lobbies. None here. None here. And I think the 718 is viable in the super slow lobbies, but not spectacular. Let me see if I have any more. The Juke is okay, but I just don't have the parts for it right now. And I think that's pretty much it, because most Prestige Cup cars are garbage, but very few are pretty good life racers. And it's like my Dodge, this thing can, as you can see, 652 PP and 2000 Evo. I've used this car a lot since I got it. You can see 3,000 miles, and I've stopped using it recently because I have better cars, but you get the point. So, like I said, and to summarize, what you need is a car with high Evo and as low PP as possible. You shouldn't be going out your way to make the Evo as high as possible. Just try to tune around, make sure a car goes to a certain lobby, let's say about 10 seconds or slower, which is my personal preference, and just tweak around and make the Evo as high as possible. This is not a guaranteed way to win, because of course people with higher Evo, if they beat Dyno, they're gonna beat you regardless. But this just tips the odds in your favor, and that's what we want, to maximize how often you win. So instead of like alternating between winning and losing, you're winning at like 80% of the time. So yeah, that's all for this video, and I hope it helped someone, and I hope my explanations were clear enough. And thank you so much for listening to me ramble about my cars, how the Evo works, about the weighted values, and my lunchbox analogy. Thank you so much once again, and I'll see you soon.